everybody, Dan Schinder here with another guest at the Ultimate Drummers Weekend here in Singapore at the Singapore Drum Fest, coincidentally. And this is James Pang. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
So much. Hi. And James has a school called My Drum School, which is not my drum school, it's his drum school, but it's called My Drum School because it's for everyone. And you were telling me a little bit about the school. Now, take this all in. For those of you who are music teachers and teachers of drumming and everything, listen to these statistics. I love this. So you just passed 10 years, the school. You started it when you were 26.
Yes.
10 years. You started just like at home?
It was in a home studio.
Okay.
So I had 40 students. And then it started growing. I was the only teacher, that's why I call it My Drum School. It's supposed to be something, kind of like my own personal teaching. So it grew, we had 50 people on the waiting list.
Wow.
And I had to close my website down, because I couldn't operate anymore. It's just one person,
Crazy. And now, 10 years later, he's surpassed 3,000 in enrollment. 100 and how many students?
We have 680.
680 students every week.
Every week.
That sounds loud.
It's one-to-one lessons, most of them.
Really?
So we specialize in teaching drums. We believe that when you have a teacher and a student ratio 1:1, it's the best form of learning and personal attention.
And how many teachers do you have? It's grown from you to how many?
Now we have about 42 to 45.
And now, are these all your brothers and sisters and cousins?
No, it's just, none of them are related to me, but we are one family. It consists of part-timers and full-timers. So this is kind of like a new career path for many aspiring educators in Singapore.
That's great. And I like that term, aspiring educators, because it means that there's a market for that, a niche for that. It is a profession, it is a career.
It is.
And any form of teaching is very important. And I think when we can teach youngsters music, there's very little things that are more enriching than teaching youngsters anything in the arts. My wife is an art teacher and educator.
My wife is an art teacher.
Oh, really? Oh, they gotta talk. Is she here?
No, she's not here. She's looking after my 3 kids. So.
Oh, okay. We'll have to get them hooked up because there's something special about teachers.
There is.
What age groups do you work with? Age range?
We take in from 5+ all the way. My oldest student is about 72. So pretty much, we have junior program, beginner program, all the way until programs for individuals that don't have any background.
I like that. So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, which is great.
We tailor our syllabus and things like that for them.
So you have a syllabus. It's not like each teacher kind of does their own thing.
No.
You've got a curriculum.
We have to, because we have 4 centers in Singapore. I write my own syllabus. So we customize, we take a lot of pride in redesigning our syllabus to meet the current trends or even the popular songs. So if there's a popular song that comes out, within a month we will get the transcription out and things like that.
This is intriguing to me because I'm thinking of the wide age range of students and the different levels that people might come at. So how do you have different syllabi for the different age groups or different levels of play?
We have a program called the junior program. So this caters to those who are like 7 to 12. So if you are within that range and you can't read music, you just started playing drums, that would be a good program for you. We have a preschool program which is relatively new for 5 to 7. So again, that is just focusing a lot on like two-way coordination. Kids are just learning. They haven't gone to primary school. They haven't learned how to, multiplication.
They're learning music first. I love that.
So that is catered for them. And then our beginner program focuses on ages 12 and above.
Okay.
So there's beginner 1, beginner 2, intermediate 1, 2, and then advanced.
So what if someone is old like me, 54, and they're just now wanting to learn drums and they don't read music? Would they go in with the preschoolers?
No.
Okay.
It is.
That sounds fun to me.
We do have a holiday program where dads and or parents and child, they can come together, 2 in a group, but that's only like it will last maybe 4 to 8 lessons. Yeah, so we have crash course programs for such a market. But I would say a typical working adult, that wants to learn for leisure, they usually start off at beginner 1. Okay. So that will help them progress all the way. Drum exams are optional, but we have partner with educational board in Australia to get ourselves accredited with them. So students have the option to take from grade preliminary grade 1, all the way until grade 8 and a diploma.
Wow.
Yeah. So in Singapore, it's very important to have a certificate.
Yeah.
In our Asian culture, it's like
interesting.
we need to be certified for everything.
Yeah.
So the parents are asking for it, So we have that as an optional track for these students. Yeah.
And the certification, is that ingrained in the culture because it's basically a mark of completion, a mark of accomplishment,
a milestone kind of thing.
Milestone, okay.
So we actually we design our curriculum in a way that beginner 1 and 2 will help the student to take the exam from grades 1 to 3, and then intermediate program will help them in grades 4 to 6. So it's kind of progressive, so that we also try to align our curriculum with the syllabus of the examination boards. So for example, if they are doing 26 rudiments for grade 4, we try to keep that within intermediate 1 level, and then 40 international rudiments for grade 6, and then we tailor accordingly. So that helps us to design our curriculum as well. Yeah.
That makes sense. And in your curriculum, when you get past like the very beginner stages, where I'm sure they're mainly learning rudiments and how to read, what is the balance or ratio in the upper levels, intermediate and up, as far as the balance between rudiments and learning genres of music?
I would say it's 50-50. That's what we try to do.
That's
so
strong.
Our curriculum focuses more on the application, the concepts. Bring in your favorite songs. We'll teach them to you, and basically the theory part of it. Whereas the examination track that we are doing focus a lot on reading, on variations, on genres, and more of playing in time and getting all your technical, oral listening, general knowledge, sight reading stuff there. So we try to put a lot of emphasis on applicational stuff on our syllabus. So people that don't want to go too technical in reading and sight reading, they may not do the option of the exam track. But we usually try to encourage, especially the younger ones, to just take the exams, because you never know when you will need these certificates. Yeah.
That's great. I need to start over with my music education. When I was younger, I was able to sight read stuff as well as any session musician, but more importantly, I was able to write stuff out as quickly as I could hear it.
Yep.
I've kind of lost a lot of that.
Were you a drummer first, or were you a drummer?
I was a drummer first. And I think I lost a lot of that from lack of using it. I got into bands, I did a lot of session work for years and years, but then I got into bands. I've got a great ear, so I learned a lot by ear. And it's like a second or third language. Like I speak Spanish, a little bit of this, a little bit. If you don't use it, you kind of...
Yeah, you're right on that. Sight reading is actually a language. So I used to, before learning drums, I learned drums at 17, so that was a very late age. I was learning the electone, which is like the organ. So my sight reading was...
You learned a lot on the treble clef side of the equation. So you learned all about melody, the circle of fifths and everything. And then you moved to drumming, and as you tell me about that, also tell us, how did you apply all this knowledge to the drumming side?
So actually, I always wanted to learn drums. In fact, at 13 years old,
everyone wants to learn drums.
It's the coolest thing.
It is the coolest thing.
So
it's the coolest thing.
It's the coolest thing. So at 13 years old, I was in a concert band. My conductor there were overflow of drummers, so he put me as a clarinet. So I was playing clarinet for 4 years. So I couldn't take it. At the end of 16, I need to learn drums. So that was when I started. So actually, before my journey as a drummer, I would call myself like a musician, because I played the guitar, electron, the piano, clarinet. I even took flute lessons, and then all this developed me as a musician. That's the equation that's lacking for many drummers, because that's why there are all the drummer jokes, that we can't read music, we don't understand chords and progression and things like that. But that's how I try to instill the musicality of it in the syllabus.
So important.
It's so important,
a lot of drummers, I think, I hope I'm not insulting anybody. I'm from the community that we're all, but I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of drummers that did not and will not learn music theory because they don't think it applies to what they're doing on the drum kit. But if you're working with other musicians, or if you want to write compositions, I think it's very important.
It is. So this examination board that we have, when you reach grade 6, you have to do music theory. It's compulsory. If not, you won't get your practical cert. So you have to do theory 1, and theory 2, all the way until music theory grade 4. And this has nothing to do with drumming, but it's something that we feel is important as well.
It has to do with music.
It has to do with music, learning how to draw, transpose, improvise, learning how the harmony of the notes and things like that. So we feel that that's an important part of your journey as a drummer. Like what you say, they can't communicate with other musicians, and that's not something that we want to encourage as well.
Ian Pace, the drummer for Deep Purple. When I interviewed Ian, he said you're a musician first and a drummer second, and drummers need to embrace that. So. That's great. So how'd you get involved with the Singapore Drum Fest?
Okay, so I've known Tan Boon for 10 years, since the Drum Fest organized events like that. So I'm one of the judges, in this panel. So it's an honor to be here, and it's always nice to see international artists come down, and just the drumming community and all, Tan Boon is doing a great job in trying to promote this culture of just raising drummers, play drums, don't play computer games, drumming is cooler than your iPad and that kind of thing.
And that's why we're so honored to be here to cover it, and also to be, having been promoting it since I think March, is because when he came to me and I understood what he was doing, like as you said, to raise awareness of drumming culture and everything in Southeast Asia, not just Singapore. I wanted, we have a pretty big voice on DrumTalk TV. We reach 20 million people a month, and I wanted to help and be a part of that. So it is an honor to be a part of it, for sure.
Good to have you here.
Well, thank you. So one last question. You have a lot of drummers that you see that come up through your school. Are you still amazed when you come to an event like this and you see youngsters get up, like the two young men I had that were 18 and 11, and I saw a 9-year-old that was just unbelievable. Isn't that crazy?
It's amazing how in today's using today's technology,
no, I thought it was the additives in the food and all that.
No, it's not. It's just something that we are trying. I think in the Asian culture also, we are trying to be more open to music and arts. So it's something that Singapore believes a lot in education as well. So these young people have a lot of support from their parents.
That's great.
They have a lot of, you see them bringing their own gear and things like that. I didn't used to own my own double pedal until I was like 20 years old. But these parents, relatives, and friends, a lot of support from them. So I think it really helps them, develop as they're, in the early age in their education. And it's always inspiring. I have to learn a lot of things from these, contestants, and I feel that it is a journey for all of them, even though there can only be one winner, but I feel that all of them have really come very far in their drumming journey. And
I think being a part of it makes them all winners, and I don't mean that in a silly or watered down or corny way, but seriously, for them to want to work hard enough to go through a process like this, and as kids put themselves out there,
it will make them stronger. I think the experience will really make them stronger.
Oh yeah, their self-esteem, their confidence, everything. Great. Well, James, thank you so much and for coming and sharing your story, and also being a part of the festival itself as a judge. And thank you all on Facebook Live for joining James and myself here at the Ultimate Drummers Weekend. And thank all of you on DrumTalkTV.com. Click on the link that's magically here on the screen, and you'll learn all about my drum school. Well, not my drum school, James's drum school, but it's called My Drum School.